There's a reason lottery winners never talk about what they did the night before they won. It wasn't luck. It wasn't coincidence. At exactly 3 a.m., when your conscious mind is at its weakest, there's a doorway that opens. And I'm about to show you how to walk through it tonight. I want you to comment below right now what you're manifesting. Not what you hope for. Not what you're working toward. What you are claiming is already done. Because by the end of this teaching, you're going to understand why that distinction is everything. Now, I need to tell you something that might shake you a little. Everything you've been taught about lottery winners, about sudden windfalls, about unexpected fortune, it's incomplete. They show you the moment of victory, the champagne, the oversized, check the tears of joy. But they never show you the night before. They never tell you about the silent hours. They never reveal what happened in consciousness while the world slept. I'm going to tell you tonight. I've studied this law for decades. I've watched it work in my own life and in the lives of countless others. And I can tell you with absolute certainty that there is no such thing as random luck. There is no such thing as chance. There is only consciousness expressing itself. And at 3 a.m., something extraordinary happens in the realm of consciousness that most people never discover. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up at exactly 3 a.m., not because of an alarm, not because of a noise? You just wake up. Your eyes open in the darkness and you're fully alert. Most people roll over and go back to sleep. But I'm telling you, those moments are not accidents. They are invitations. 3 a.m. is what the ancients called the hour of divine contact. It's the midpoint of darkness, the still point between yesterday and tomorrow. Your conscious mind, that gatekeeper that spends all day telling you what's possible and what isn't, what you can have and what you can't. At 3 a.m., it's dormant, weak, barely there. And your subconscious mind, that infinite creative power that accepts every impression you give it and makes it real. At 3 a.m., it's wide open. This is the doorway I'm talking about. This is the secret that lottery winners stumbled upon whether they knew it or not. They impressed their subconscious at the exact moment when there was no resistance, no doubt. No logical mind saying, the odds are 1 in 292 million. Just pure impression. Pure assumption, pure creation. Now, before we go deeper, I need to clarify something crucial. This is not about the lottery specifically. The lottery is simply a symbol, a perfect example of what the world calls impossible. What I'm teaching you tonight works for any desire. Money? Yes. But also love, health, opportunity, recognition, reconciliation, anything your heart truly desires. The principle is the same. At 3 a.m., when consciousness is most receptive, you plant a seed so deep, so undeniable, that the subconscious has no choice but to bring it forth into your reality. Let me take you back to something Neville Goddard himself discovered. He called it SATS, state akin to sleep. That drowsy twilight state right before you drift off completely. In that state, the barriers between your conscious and subconscious mind dissolve. Whatever you impress upon your consciousness in that moment goes straight to the creative power within you with no interference. Most people practice SATs at bedtime around 10 or 11 p.m., and it works. I'm not discounting that. But 3 a.m. is different. At 3 a.m., you're not just entering sleep. You're rising from the depths of it. You're emerging from the unconscious realm where creation happens. Your subconscious has been working all night, processing, creating, arranging. And when you wake at 3 a.m., you catch it in the act. This is when you have maximum leverage. I want to tell you about a man I knew. He'd been struggling financially for years. Bills piling up, credit cards maxed. That heavy, suffocating feeling of never having enough. He'd tried affirmations. He'd tried visualizations. He'd even bought lottery tickets every week with desperate hope. Nothing changed. Then one night he woke up at 3 a.m. He didn't plan it. He just woke up. And instead of checking his phone or worrying about his bills, he did something different. He lay there in the darkness and whispered, "I am wealthy." Not as a plea, not as a wish, as a fact. He felt it. He felt the relief of financial freedom in his body. He felt the weight lift from his chest. He felt the calm of knowing every bill was paid, every need was met, every desire was within reach. And then, still in that drowsy state, he imagined opening his bank account and seeing a number that made him smile. He didn't strain, he didn't force. He just rested in that feeling until sleep took him again. 3 days later, he won $47,000 on a scratch ticket he bought on impulse. Now you might be thinking, that's just coincidence. But I'm telling you, there are no coincidences. There is only consciousness creating reality. What that man did at 3 a.m. was impress his subconscious with the assumption of wealth at the exact moment when that assumption could sink in completely unchallenged, unquestioned, undiluted by logic or doubt. The lottery ticket wasn't the cause, it was the bridge. Neville called this the bridge of incidents. Your subconscious, once impressed with an assumption, will arrange circumstances, events, and opportunities to make that assumption manifest in your physical reality. It doesn't care how, it doesn't need your permission, it just does it. Let me reveal to you the deeper mystery here, the real secret that changes everything. At 3 a.m., you are between two worlds. The world of form, your physical reality, is asleep. The world of consciousness, the invisible realm, where all creation begins, is fully alive. In this sacred hour, you have access to a power that most people never touch in their entire lives. The Bible speaks of this hour. At midnight, that there was a cry. Midnight, the darkest hour, the moment of greatest spiritual potency. 3 a.m. is the heart of this darkness, the womb of creation. Your imagination, I tell you, is God. Not a power separate from you. Not something you petition. You and your imagination are the creator of your reality. And at 3 a.m., when the noise of the world is silent and the chatter of your conscious mind is quiet, your imagination can work without obstruction. This is what the lottery winners did, whether they knew it or not. They didn't just buy a ticket and hope. They impressed their consciousness, usually in the quiet hours, with the feeling of already having won. They felt the joy, the relief, the freedom. They lived in the end result, and their subconscious faithful and obedient arranged reality to match that inner state. You can do this deliberately. You can do this tonight. Here is exactly what you're going to do. I'm going to give you the precise method step by step. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is actionable. This is something you can apply the moment you finish listening to this teaching. Tonight, before you go to bed at your normal time, set a quiet intention in your mind. Tell yourself, I will wake at 3 a.m. Don't set an alarm. Your subconscious is incredibly obedient. If you instruct it clearly, it will wake you. Just plant that seed. I will wake at 3 a.m. to meet my desire in consciousness. Before you fall asleep, decide on one simple scene that implies your desire is fulfilled. Not the desire itself. The end of the story. If you desire money, don't imagine receiving money. Imagine what you would do after you have it. See yourself paying off a debt with ease. Hear someone say, "Wow, you're so generous." Feel the leather of a chair in your upgraded home. If you desire love, don't imagine meeting someone. Imagine lying next to them, hearing their breathing, feeling their warmth. The scene must imply the wish is already fulfilled. Keep it simple. One scene, 5 seconds long. something you can loop easily in your mind. When you wake, and you will wake, don't turn on lights. Don't check your phone. Don't fully wake yourself up. Stay in that drowsy, half-asleep state. Your eyes can be open or closed. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're hovering between sleep and waking. This is your power hour. Now in this state, bring up your scene. But don't watch it like a movie. Enter it. Feel yourself in the scene. If you're imagining sitting in a new car, feel the steering wheel under your hands. Feel the seat beneath you. Smell the newness. Hear the engine. Make it sensory. Make it real. Loop this scene. Over and over. 3 times. 5 times. 10 times. Not frantically. Gently. Easily. Like you're remembering something that already happened. And here's the crucial part: as you loop this scene, feel the emotion of already having it. Not the excitement of "it's coming." The deep settled peace of "it is done." The quiet satisfaction of course this is my reality. After you've looped your scene, whisper one sentence, out loud or silently. It doesn't matter. I am wealthy. Or I am loved. Or I am successful. Whatever your desire is, claim it as identity. Not future, not hope. Present identity. Say it once with feeling. Let it sink into the silence. And then release it completely. Don't fight to stay awake. Don't analyze whether you did it right. Don't wonder how it's going to happen. Just let go. Drift back to sleep with the feeling of the wish fulfilled still warm in your consciousness. Let your subconscious take that impression and begin its work. When you wake in the morning, don't check for results. Don't dig up the seed. Just go about your day knowing that you've planted something in the most fertile soil that exists, your consciousness, at 3 a.m. Now I know what some of you are thinking. What if I don't wake up at 3 a.m.? What if I can't do this tonight? Let me tell you something. The specific hour is not magic. 3 a.m. is simply the hour when most people's conscious resistance is at its lowest. But the principle works anytime you can access that drowsy receptive state. If you wake at 2 a.m., use that. If you wake at 4 a.m., use that. The key is the state, not the clock. What you're doing is impressing your subconscious when its doors are wide open. You're assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled when there's nothing in you to argue against it. You're planting a seed in consciousness at the exact moment when it can root deepest. This is the secret Neville taught his entire life. Consciousness is the only reality. What you are conscious of being, you become. And if you can impress your consciousness deeply enough, completely enough, undeniably enough, your outer world has to conform. Not because you're manipulating reality, because you are reality. Your consciousness and your experience are one and the same. Change one, and you must change the other. Let me address the doubt that's probably creeping in right now. But what about the odds? What about the millions of people who want the same thing? What about logic? I'm going to tell you something that will free you if you can truly hear it. The odds don't apply to you. Odds are statistics. Statistics are based on the past, on what has happened to other people on the average on the collective. But you are not the collective. You are an individual consciousness. You are the creator of your own reality. When you assume something is true, when you claim it in consciousness, when you feel it as fact, you step outside the realm of probability. You enter the realm of law, the law of assumption. This law states, whatever you assume to be true will become true in your experience. Not might become true, not could become true, will become true. It's not a suggestion, it's not a possibility, it's law, as reliable as gravity, as certain as the sun rising. The lottery ticket, the unexpected check, the surprise inheritance, the perfect job offer. These are just the forms your assumption takes. The bridge of incidents. Your subconscious will use whatever path is available to bring your assumption into form. Your only job is to assume, to claim, to know. There's a passage in Scripture that has always moved me deeply. Call those things that be not as though they were. This is the entire teaching in one sentence. Call it, claim it, speak it into being, not as something you're hoping will come, as something that already is. At 3 a.m. in the silence, in the darkness, in that sacred space between worlds, you have the power to call your desire into being, to speak across the void and say, "This is done. This is mine. This is real." And because consciousness is God, because your imagination is the creative power of the universe, because assumption hardens into fact, what you call into being at 3 a.m. will manifest in your world. I've seen it happen too many times to doubt it. I've watched people who had nothing transform their lives completely. Not through struggle, not through years of hard work, through assumption, through consciousness, through understanding that they are the creators of their reality. One woman I knew was facing eviction. She had 7 days to come up with rent money she didn't have. She woke at 3 a.m. the night I taught her this principle. She didn't beg. She didn't plead. She simply assumed in that quiet hour that her rent was paid. She felt the relief. She felt the security. She felt herself still in her apartment, comfortable, safe, free. 4 days later, an old friend called out of nowhere, said she'd been thinking about her, and felt compelled to send money. The exact amount needed for rent, plus extra. Coincidence number consciousness creating bridges. Now let me give you something extra, a refinement that will make this even more powerful. After you do the 3 a.m. technique, here's what I want you to do for the next 3 days. Morning practice. The moment you wake up, before you reach for your phone, before you start thinking about your day, spend 60 seconds being the person who already has their desire, not visualizing having it, being the person who has it. Feel it in your body. Let that identity settle over you throughout the day. Every time you catch yourself doubting, worrying, or slipping back into the old state of wanting, do this. Stop. Take a breath and silently say, "It is done." That's all. No argument, no explanation. Just, "It is done," and feel it for 5 seconds. Then move on. Evening practice. Before you sleep, don't do the full visualization again. Just rest in the feeling. Lie in bed and let the satisfaction of having your desire wash over you like a warm blanket. Fall asleep in that feeling. Let it be the last thing your consciousness touches before sleep takes you. Do this for 3 days. Just 3 days. Not months. Not years. 3 days of living in the assumption that it's done. And watch what happens. I want to say something to those of you who have been struggling with manifestation for a long time. Those of you who have tried everything and feel like nothing works. Those of you who are starting to wonder if maybe you're the exception. Maybe you're not meant to have what you desire. You are not broken. You are not blocked. You are not doing it wrong. You've just been trying to use techniques from the state of not having. You've been performing faith instead of feeling it. You've been white-knuckling your way through visualizations while your deeper consciousness whispers, "But it's not real yet." Tonight that ends. Because at 3 a.m., when you do this technique, you're not going to try to believe. You're not going to work at convincing yourself. You're simply going to claim it in the moment when your consciousness is most receptive to that claim. And something will shift. Maybe subtly, maybe dramatically, but something will shift. You'll wake up different. You'll move through your day different. Not because you're pretending, because the assumption has rooted, because consciousness has accepted it. Because at the deepest level, you now know it's done. Let me leave you with this final truth, the one that ties everything together. You are not a beggar at the universe's door hoping for scraps. You are not powerless waiting for circumstances to change before you can have what you desire. You are not subject to odds, to probability, to luck, to chance. You are consciousness itself. You are the creator wearing a human disguise. You are God imagining your reality into existence every single moment of every single day. At 3 a.m. when the world sleeps and consciousness is pure, you remember this. You step into your power. You claim what is yours, not by right of deserving, but by law of consciousness. And once you claim it there, in that sacred hour, with feeling, with certainty, with the quiet, knowing that it is done, the entire universe conspires to make it so. Not because you're special, because this is how creation works, for everyone, without exception, always. So tonight, set your intention. Tell your subconscious you'll wake at 3 a.m. Prepare your scene. And when that hour comes, when you find yourself suspended between sleep and waking in the darkness, don't waste it scrolling or worrying or planning. Use it. Claim your desire. Feel it is real. Live in the end. Assume it's done. And then watch as the bridge of incidents unfolds. Watch as unexpected doors open. Watch as seeming miracles become your everyday reality. Because I'm telling you, with every ounce of certainty I possess, this works. Not sometimes, not for some people. Always, for everyone who truly applies it. The lottery winners knew this secret whether consciously or not. Now you know it too. The question is, will you use it? Comment below what you're claiming tonight at 3 a.m. Declare it. Make it real in words. And if this teaching resonated with you, if something in you recognized the truth of what I've shared, subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to keep teaching you these principles. I'm going to keep showing you how to use the power of consciousness to create the life you were always meant to live. The doorway opens tonight at 3 a.m. Will you walk through it? Your desire is waiting on the other side. Not in the future, not in some distant possibility. Right now, in consciousness, already complete, already real, already yours. All you have to do is claim it. It is done.